I've said it before. I'll say it again. The current iteration of the Republican Party, controlled by its MAGA contingent, is a threat to democracy. It is opposed to reasonable governance, getting things done for the American people. It's focused on issues that prioritize political fear-mongering over policy solutions, etc. But it's also, and this might seem more trivial, and it is in a sense, but they're also just weird. And that's something a lot of people have been saying. I think Tim Walz, Minnesota governor, popularized it, but many people made the point that this is just a weird group of folks in the way that they obsess over certain things, ignore others, and lie about a whole lot, especially these MAGA leaders. And Vivek Ramaswamy seemed a little bit triggered by this messaging. I'll show you examples of the messaging and then a video that is so uncomfortable to watch, so creepy, but hilarious because it's an anti-Trump, anti-MAGA ad that you're going to see, but it's so creepy. But here's Vivek Ramaswamy annoyed by this. This whole "they're weird" argument, he says, from the Democrats is dumb and juvenile. This is a presidential election, not a high school prom queen contest. It's also a tad ironic coming from the party that preaches diversity and inclusion. Because, yeah, diversity and inclusion, I guess. Win on policy if you can, but cut the crap, please. You do not want to talk about only policy, Vivek Ramaswamy, because that's where Trump gets trounced by the Biden-Harris administration. But there is an underlying thing here that we need to grab on and talk about. Because why are they so weird? What is the issue with their priorities? And I'll talk about the strategy of using that language, why I do think it actually is impactful. And it's not about doing sort of high school politics, but instead something different. But here's an example of Tim Walz, who really popularized this.
These are weird people on the other side. They want to take books away. They want to be in your exam room. That's what it comes down to. And don't, get sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. Listen to them speak. Listen to how they talk about things. Listen to how your previous guests were right. Like you said, they've told them that they shouldn't talk about race. They can't help it. It is built into their DNA because there is no plan. There's no healthcare plan. There's nothing to do on this. They want to take away our alliances and leave Russia to do whatever they want. Look, they are bad on foreign policy. They are bad on the environment. They certainly have no healthcare plan. And they keep talking about the middle class that, as I said, a robber baron real estate guy and a venture capitalist trying to tell us they understand who we are. They don't know who we are.
Well said. And in the clip we just recently reviewed, he said it again.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are. So
just a likable guy. And before getting into this video that, do be warned, you're going to get the heebie-jeebies, but it's very effectively delivered. The reason I think that term is so effective to use is because it's so unpolitical. Normally you don't hear that term in a political setting. So casual. It is a little high school, but the reason is it kind of, I think, can shake people into realizing how weird their priorities are. For example, we have heard, and I'll just throw a bunch of different examples at you as they come to my mind, then I'll play this video. Tucker Carlson's whole program when he was Fox host, some of it was very consequential, dangerous rhetoric, and some of it was just, what? As shown by him focusing on the attractiveness of the animations of M&Ms and how a shift in the outfits that are worn by the characters Eminem portrays. I don't know. The characters that are used as M&Ms in commercials and stuff, those aren't attractive enough for Tucker Carlson. Stuff like that as proof that wokeness has gone too far. They're trying to make everything less sexual and unattractive. Okay. The censorship of books and the obsession with that. The opposition to and ambition for some Republicans to make contraception illegal. Just the general sex life obsession of others that we see from Republicans the way that an issue that, unless you choose to go to a drag show, is not going to affect your life, they choose to put so much emphasis on issues like that one where, oh, drag shows, blah, blah, blah. And it goes on and on. The broader demonization of LGBTQ people, just this obsession they'll have with that. And so when you throw out a term like weird, I do think it makes people go, wait, what? That's not a normal term, so it doesn't just get lost. And it wakes you up a little bit to the fact that they put emphasis on certain things, lie about certain things, fearmonger about certain things to distract from their policy failures. And that is weird. And then this focuses on one part of their priorities that are very weird. Get ready.
Us MAGA Republicans banned abortion, but that's just the start.
That's just the start.
If Trump gets elected, we want the government involved in all aspects of your sex life.
Way more involved.
Way more involved.
When you have sexual intercourse, it should be illegal to use contraception. No pills, no condoms.
Your genitals are reserved for procreation.
If you freeze 12 eggs, you should be required to have 12 babies, or else you're a serial killer. And I'm definitely not a serial killer.
Are you?
My son monitors my porn usage to make sure I'm not self-pleasuring.
The fact that they're all sweating so much is so funny. This is really put together very well. Whew.
Just like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson.
Oh wait, you have to see this part. This is funny.
You?
My son monitors my porn usage to make sure I'm not self-pleasuring.
Just like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. That's true. You can look it up.
Don't you think that's normal?
Yeah, I do.
It's normal for your son to do that.
You should have a family member monitor your porn use too.
Because pleasuring yourself is very, very naughty.
I'm voting in November.
I'm voting in November. We're all voting in November. Are you?
Because what happens in your bedroom is up to me.
Is up to me and my son.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna play that last part, but yes, that's proving the point a little bit. Can y'all just relax, okay? You're being weird. You're freaking us out. We don't understand. And you can just come over and have a conversation with us about wanting people to have freedom, American opportunities. Then we'll get to work on a policy to protect workers' rights, women's rights, children's rights, educational opportunities, raising people's wages, fixing our broken healthcare system, addressing homelessness, making sure we give proper benefits to those who serve our country, our veterans, etc. We could just focus on those things, make people's lives better, make sure children are safe at school and have universal meals. It really doesn't have to be so complicated. Those are complicated issues that we want to properly implement. But when you see some of these Democratic governors, they're doing it pretty uncontroversially. They're pretty popular. And they're popular because they're getting stuff done for people. And that doesn't include your obsession with demonizing people, creeping into our bedrooms, trying to control the reproductive decisions from women. And if you could just set that aside, it's not going to be the leaders because they need this for political relevance. Otherwise, their policy positions are terrible. Cutting taxes, that's your big policies. Cutting taxes for rich people, not very popular. But they could keep trying to push that. But if the voters could come over to just the rational side, you'd be good to go. And I get that on this side, right, just left of center, you got irrationality, totally. But I'm talking about, again, look to the elected leaders. You compare elected leaders, people in positions of power, and there's much more prevalence of rationality in one party compared to the other. If you are not already, yes, you, unless you are already, then not you, but anyone else, can you please make sure you're subscribed to the channel by clicking that subscribe button? Makes a huge difference. Easy, free, but I appreciate it greatly. Back to the video. Here's a little bonus clip that's been going around. Kevin McCarthy said this as a negative indictment of Kamala Harris's record.
Got elected to the U.S. Senate. I was the majority leader. I reached out to meet with her.
Not once would she meet with me. If
Not once would she meet with me. He always sounds like he's reading you a bedtime story. The way that he talks in this sort of whimsical voice. But I saw a bunch of people saying, I like her more now. Why? Also, presumptuous. Why do you think that she needs to meet with you? And that's such a terrible thing if she, as a senator, didn't find it important to go meet with a goofball such as yourself, Kevin. Let me know what you think of the weird messaging. And also, if you want to get extra content daily, support the work we do, you can do so by clicking the join button below.